So I'm a guy who doesn't need any more projects, but I've started one nonetheless. This is a phase one of a custom pinball machine, a homebrew machine that will eventually be a fully working pinball machine. Um, I don't have a theme or anything planned yet. That'll be phase 10 or something. This is just phase one of many. So essentially, this is a Cobrapin board. Normally, pinball machines have 4, 5, 6 boards. This is all in one, so it's kind of cool that way. It is the brains of the whole thing is a PC. I'll probably use an Arduino or something in the end, but PC for now. So the board, everything is powered on the actual machine by a 5-volt power supply. That powers all the switches and the LEDs, and then 48 volt does the heavy lifting for the coils and stuff like that. I've got just to turn it on and off. I've got just a light switch, so that turns it on. You can see the LEDs come on. I've got 100 LEDs there, 2 banks of 50, and I've got what is basically a really crude pinball machine. So instead of your standard switches on a pinball machine, most everything is switches and coils. I've just got buttons. So instead of the ball banging around and going over a rollover or hitting a slingshot, they're just buttons. So here's your 2 slingshots, an out lane, plunger, shooter lane switch, a drain, and a start button and a flipper button. I do have 1 coil attached. I don't have enough parts to make the whole thing, so I got to reset it every time I use it. Parts is going to be an issue with this whole project, I'm sure. But at this point, it's playable. The LEDs turn on. I've got kind of a proof of concept of every component in the game. It runs on Mission Pinball, so I've got Python's installed running, and I'll run Mission Pinball Framework. It shows a list of all the switches and stuff that I've programmed in. This is all tutorial stuff, so it's not that sophisticated yet. And I've even limited some of that to just the bare bones of what I need just to get it up and going. This is the actual display. So this would be what would be on your LCD screen of the final product, but it's still pretty crude here. Yeah, and it's currently in attract mode, which is basically a mode in pinball where it attracts you to the machine and tries to get you to drop a quarter in. As such, I've programmed these lights. All 100 of them turn from red to blue, one at a time in sets of 10. It's kind of tough to see on a phone, but it is actually working. So yeah, let's try and fire up a game. It's already running, so what we would do is we'd pretend that we have a ball in the drain. Hit the start button. It goes out of attract mode. It would actually launch the ball and put it in shooter lane. You can see the display goes to your standard score, player 1, ball 1. So we'll shoot the ball, pretend like we're shooting the ball, hit some buttons, bounce off the slingshots and stuff. Score goes up when you do that. And then you miss the ball, so it drains. Now it advances to ball 2. And do the same thing again. We'll put it in the shooter lane, let it fire, hit some buttons, ball drains again. I can show you the flipper buttons actually work, it activates a coil. So I've just got 1 coil hooked up. Again, I don't have any parts, or I don't have enough parts to make this complete, and that's going to be the story for the whole project. It'll be shopping for parts, but anyway, I'll hit this button, you'll see the coil fire. It's pretty weak. It's set to, I think, 10 milliseconds. It's just on for just 10 milliseconds. Just so it doesn't set enough current through to blow anything yet while you're mocking things up. It's just proof of concept. So yeah, it'll be stronger once I'm past phase 1. So yeah, that's basically it. I can drain the ball again, and then it goes back into attract mode. I'll pop these LEDs off for once. It's still connected to the machine, so the board shows some LEDs on. So yeah, this is your Cobrapin. All these on the left side, I suppose I can point to them. These are all coils. This is your power input. That's the coil power, so that's the line to the coil. What is this? That's 5-volt power. And then these are your LEDs right here. All these are switches. You can use a direct switches or a matrix. I'll eventually use a matrix, but right now I'm just using direct switches. I just use Cat 5 cable because it's simple. It's already stranded. Each bank of switches, the direct switches anyway, have 8 lines in and then 1 common ground. So you have for the Cat 5, I've basically just got, well, I didn't go with Cat 5 initially. I had 4 wires mapped, but then I just bought some Cat 5 cable. So I'll eventually swap that out, but for now it's just proof of concept stuff. But yeah, I just need to run the Cat 5 in here in this box. The whole thing's held together with electrical tape, which is probably going to be the final product too. Just kidding there, not really. But yeah, it goes in. There's 1 black ground wire, the common ground wire that connects to all these switches. So back to the Cobrapin. Those 2 big things are capacitors. It runs off of 2 processors connected to the PC. There's 4 individual lines fused. It's pretty solid that the whole board is 1 board rather than 4 to 6, which is typical for a pinball machine. I do have some nitpicks about the Cobrapin, but they're fairly nitpicky, very trivial. So it's been good so far. Phase 1. Yeah, so wish me luck, because this is phase 1 of a very big project, but so far so good. Running, playing, the lights work. Lights can be programmed, the coil can be programmed. Yeah, so far so good.